And now for a falafel tortilla like you've never seen before. I mean, we're making falafel now. I mean, being in Israel, they have falafel everywhere. It's a real signature and traditional dish over there. And you have it pretty much in the pita bread with the lettuce and the tahini sauce and stuff. It's delicious. But I wanted to improvise a little bit, and I played around, and I actually made something very similar at my restaurant, and I won an award for it. It came out great. The presentation's dynamite, and it's easy to make. I'm going to show you how to make it. We're going to start with the falafel mixture, actually. Now, we all know falafel mixture starts off with chickpeas. This is dried chickpeas. Very important when you're working with chickpeas, spread them out, any kind of dried beans. I say this over and over again. A lot of times there's pebbles and little stones in there. Please be careful and pick over all of them. Then they're going to cover it with water, no pre-measured amount necessary. You want to just soak them overnight. This way they get nice and soft. Now, after you do that, you soak them overnight. Look how big. Look at the difference. I'm going to take these back up and show you. Look how the dried are, all shrunk like a raisin, and look how plump up after they've been soaked in water. Now, we're going to take these ingredients, and we're going to come over here, and we're going to make them in the blender. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by putting in my chickpeas that have not been cooked. They've only been blanched. No, they haven't been blanched. They've only been soaked in water. And then I'm going to put in some other ingredients. Now, let me show you these ingredients first. I got a couple of cloves of whole garlic. I got some chopped parsley, some cilantro. I have some cumin and some coriander. So far, these are all still traditional items that you put inside a nice falafel. I have some baking soda. What this is going to do is make it a little softer and lighter. And I got a little bit of hot pepper spice, some cayenne. We're going to take these and we're going to put these all inside the little Cuisinart over here. And then I'm also going to put in some chopped up and sliced onions. And we're going to add a little bit of salt to this mixture. And we're going to add the pepper, some cracked pepper. Even though we got the spicy pepper, the cayenne in there, we still want a little more cracked pepper. All the peppers have different flavors and tastes. And now we're going to put the top on, and we're going to pulse it a little. On and off mixtures. And you want to take your rubber spatula, and you want to scrape it down. And by scraping it down, you're going to make everything mix uniform. Mixing it uniform is very important. You're going to keep it going. You can't overmix this. You don't have to worry about that. Mix it up a little bit more. Each time you want to scrape, and you want to take the stuff from the bottom and put it to the top until you get a nice consistency. Now it's starting to come together. And now what I'm going to do is I want to show you what the consistency is. I'm going to put some in my hand. And take a look at this in my hand. It's like a perfect to make a little patty. You can roll it up into a bowl. You can play jacks or whatever you want to do with this. This is the consistency you're looking for, where it holds together, it's not too moist, and it's not too dry. Now, I have some on the side I'm going to show you, but I'm going to put this down, out of my way for a second. Now, let's go over and let me show you what they look like afterwards. Now, this is the consistency that it was like I showed you, into a little ball. I made a couple of patties. You know, when you just take it, you put it on your cutting board, and you shape it any way you want. For our purposes, we don't have to shape them so pretty because we're going to be putting it into a tortilla and rolling up. Now, you don't always have to make them flat. What's kind of cool is I've made these before, like little hors d'oeuvres. You roll them up, and you fry up these little meatballs. You put them on a platter. You put the little toothpicks in it. It looks like meatballs, but it's not. They're little falafel balls, and you make a little tahini sauce next to it and use it for an hors d'oeuvre. Absolutely fantastic. When you make this mix also, if you don't use it the same day, wrap it up in plastic wrap and leave it in the fridge. It's fine. You don't have to. You can store that without a problem. Now let's fry a couple of these. We're going to go over now. We're going to saute some. Okay, I'm going to put some oil in the pan. I want to get it nice and hot. You don't put it in flour. You don't put it in breadcrumbs or anything. Get these puppies sizzling over here. Now while this is sizzling, let's make the sauce. Now this is a 3-stage dish to make this tortilla. We're going to assemble it. We're making the falafel, and now we're going to make the sauce. What I'm doing now is we're going to put the ingredients for the sauce in here. Now let's go over these ingredients. These are roasted red bell peppers that have been roasted and the skin's been taken off. There's a few little black specks on there. It's okay, though. That's the charred effect to it. When you roast a pepper, what you're doing is you're increasing the flavor of it. You're giving it a whole other taste, a whole other dimension, a real richness. If you take regular red peppers and put it in, number one, it's going to get too juicy. It's going to be too watery. So by roasting it, some of the liquid exudes out, and it strengthens the flavor. Okay, now we have some water to thin it out, some tahini paste, which is sesame seed paste. some garlic, a little bit of hot pepper, and some lemon juice. So what I'm going to do is we're going to add the roasted peppers, and the liquid that seeps to the bottom of the jar after you roast it, you save every ounce of it. That's where all the flavor is. Okay, now we're going to take some of our tahini and put that in the sesame seed paste. It's delicious. That's the base of usually most falafels. Some cayenne, a little hot sauce. I'm going to use it all. I like it nice and spicy. We're going to throw in the clove of garlic. You could have added more if you want, but this is right. And now we're going to add our lemon juice. Okay. Now we're going to combine these, and we're going to make a delicious sauce. It's going to be nice and smooth. Put that on. You want to mix it up until the roasted pepper is all pureed. Let me just take a quick look at it. A little bit more, that's all. Get that going. All righty, let's take a look at this. Here we go. Okay, this is nice. A nice, rich, this is also good for a dip. Remember I told you those meatballs? If you make those little meatballs and you put them on a plate, and then you put the toothpicks in them, this is a perfect dish. Look at this, a roasted red bell pepper tahini paste. So far, we're going to put this aside. What we're going to do is we're going to spread this on our tortilla, and that's how we're going to end up making our dish. Now, let's go back over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to sort of assemble it. We don't need this anymore. We've already made those. Let's take a look at our tortillas. Okay, these guys are frying golden, nice. Okay, now I'm going to shut the fire off on this because I have some that have been made before, and this is already fully cooked. Remember, there's nothing raw in here. You got no meat in here. You don't have to cook it to death. You only want to fry it crisp and golden on both sides and have it be nice and moist inside. We're not worried about cooking any meat or any protein or anything like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a flour tortilla. This is a basic 10-inch flour tortilla, and I'm going to spread some of this delicious roasted pepper tahini sauce all over it. Just smear that all around, just like you would a bagel and cream cheese. Do that little smear action. There we go. And now from here, we're going to sort of layer it and make our tortilla. I'm going to start out with some julienne cucumber and just make a little line like that. And then we're going to take some alfalfa sprouts. I love alfalfa sprouts. They're crunchy. They're really, really nice. Just like that. I'm going to take a couple of slices of tomato and layer it. I mean, it's like a sandwich. You know the whole fad going on right now, or the trend going on now with the wraps, the sandwiches and the wraps? I mean, that's what we're making. Instead of the pita bread, we're making it a little more interesting. We're adding and incorporating much better flavors. Now I'm going to take some of these tortillas, these falafels that we've already made, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut them up and just like lay them in here. That's why I was explaining it doesn't have to be that pretty. You're not going to see them. So you're going to cut them up. They're a little hot to handle. And you're going to pretty much break it up right on top. Mush it up with your finger just a tad. Just the right amount. There you go. Let's mix that up. And sometimes I use a little bit of avocado. Now I have some I already prepped over here. So let me put one or two pieces here. Like that. And now here's the kicker when you want to roll it up. Okay. So we roll it up, and you hold your hands. It's almost like making sushi. And you hold it, and tightly, you roll it up like that. And now we move it over here. And now what you do is when I have company over and I'm making a whole bunch, I set them all like this up on plates ahead of time, and then the last minute I plate it up. So if you're ready to plate it up, you put it in front of you. You cut the ends off, like that. And my kids usually eat the ends, and we put them on the side. And now to make it look gorgeous, you cut it on the angle. And let me show you how I present this. It's a beautiful, beautiful dish. You take a nice plate here. Get myself a clean napkin. Again, make sure everything's neat, everything's nice. To present this, you take a little bit of field greens. I'm a field green fanatic. You put some salad in the center. Okay. In fact, I'm going to put this plate on the cutting board to make it easier for me to get at now. And you stand one of these tortillas up like this, and you stand one up like that. And you take some of your sauce that you made, and you drizzle, you put a couple of little specks of roasted bell pepper sauce over here with tahini all around it, a little bit like that. We're going to put a little bit of oil on the salad, like that. a little bit of red pepper around here. And this is a falafel that you have never seen before.